What's going on, guys? This is Rob. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that little bell so you never miss out on my sexy voice. Okay, too powerful for Marvel movies. The God Butcher. Oh, dude, as soon as I started this series, I was like, we have to do a video on God Butcher. And people knew we had to do a video on God Butcher. There's no way you couldn't. Like, there's no way you couldn't do a video on God Butcher. Here's a funny thing, though. You could make one hell of a movie out of, dude, I would love to see that Thor 4, The God Butcher. Dude, I would love to do that. You could make one hell of a movie out of his character. Okay. Calm down. The God Butcher. All right, so Gorr is like one of the most interesting Thor villains ever. Like I would actually say he's probably the most interesting Thor villain. Like, he's more interesting than like Loki or really like Mangog. Although Mangog I would say is the most dangerous because no one's ever successfully defeated Mangog. Like, Mangog is the only villain that even Odin is afraid of. Like, Odin's terrified of Mangog. Like, he's like it's crazy. What was it? The most recent story that Jason Aaron did in Thor, when Jane Foster lost the hammer, Mangog invades Asgard, and they're just like Jane Foster's like, well, we have to fight, and Odin and them are just like, but why though? Because like he's gonna kill us. So I mean, this is Ragnarok. Peace. Like, it was pretty messed up. It was pretty awesome. But no, aside from Mangog, I would say Mangog's really not that interesting anyway. So I would say Gorr's probably the most interesting Thor villain. So this all came out of Jason Aaron's initial run, right? And we have like the whole Thor run in video form if you guys want to go check it out. But it's the first run in Thor: God of Thunder, written by Jason Aaron, drawn by Esad Ribic. It looks amazing. And what ends up happening is there's like this unnamed planet out in the galaxy, so out in the universe somewhere. And this planet is insanely harsh to live on, right? It almost never rains, and life is just like, it's a constant struggle. And so there's this like alien that's born on this world, and his parents die shortly after. And so he's basically raised by the tribe, and then eventually makes a life for himself, right? Like, he finds a wife and he has a child and so on. And then like as they're making their journey to like the next place where they can find some place, some measure of refuge, like food, water, different things like that, his wife and child die. And it's crazy because the leader of the tribe is more or less like a priest. And so he's just like, well, the gods have this plan for us, and it's that whole thing, God has a plan, so on and so forth. And the result is like, in the face of all this, Gorr's like, no, if the gods are real, they've abandoned us. And I don't even believe they exist in the first place. And so because he denies the existence of the various gods that his people believe in, he's like excommunicated from his tribe. Well, eventually what happens is the Necrosword, like, God, who is it? The first, not the original serpent, the original symbiote guy. Anyway, he and somebody else are fighting each other, and they fall down to the planet when they're both dead. And Gorr discovers like the all-black Necrosword, which is like the sword of death. And so Gorr goes on like this crusade because he's like, these gods deserve to die. They died of their own volition. I will kill the rest. And so like he takes the all-black Necrosword and goes on like this crusade across like the universe, killing every god he finds, every planet's god. Like, he goes through and kills almost all of them except for like maybe a couple of them. But eventually he makes his way to Earth. Now, when he makes his way to Earth, it happens something like 1,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago or something along those lines, but it happens in the past. And Thor at that point in time was still like relatively young and brash. And so I want to say that the way it played out was Thor discovered the body of a god from the Americas that washed up on that washed up somewhere, and then he was just kind of like, well, that's crazy, and then he left. And then eventually he discovers what are basically like Russian gods, and he realizes like they've all been hung. They didn't die of natural causes. Like, they're all just like hanging on meat hooks. And he's like, what in the hell happened here? Like, who killed all these guys? Because they're like warrior gods, right? And so that's when like Gorr makes his appearance, and like he faces off against Thor and beats the hell out of him. Dude, Gorr absolutely thrashes Thor. It's not even a contest. I mean, he wears him out. And it's one of the funniest things ever. He tortures him for like a week or like months or something like that. Like, he tortures him for like days on end, trying to get information, and Thor just doesn't relent. So Gorr just kind of leaves him. And then Thor basically recovers, the two of them fight again. And then Gorr is thought to have been defeated and thought to have been killed. So Thor says, okay, whatever, and then walks away. Come to find out, Gorr never died. And over the course of the next however many years, running up until the present day, Gorr continued this campaign, wiping out like gods of war and gods of like conflict and gods of love and gods of hate, all these different gods that were out there. Like, he was going through and just like wiping them all out, killing all of them everywhere he found them. And so modern day Thor runs into Gorr again. And he's like, I remember you from 1,000 years ago. And he's just like, how are you still alive? And Gorr's like, don't worry about that, because like Gorr's been getting stronger. Like the longer he used the Necrosword and the more gods he killed, the stronger he got. And so by this point, he's virtually unchallenged. Like Thor doesn't really stand a chance against him. And so ultimately the battle battle ends up taking place in the future, and what ends up happening is you end up having past Thor, present Thor, and future Thor all facing off against Gorr at the same time, and they all still get wrecked. Like, it's insane. Gorr defeats 3 generations of Thor all at the same time. And you end up finding out that what Gorr had been planning was to create something called the God Bomb, right? The idea was that he was going to create this massive bomb, and he was going to drop it off in the time stream, in the literal time stream, and he was going to detonate it. And when it did, it would send shockwaves throughout the past, the present, and the future, and it would annihilate all gods that he just hasn't found. Because you got to remember, with Gorr like running around and killing all these gods, word had reached the ears of various people, and they just went into hiding. I mean, that's literally what it was. It was just like, flee for your lives! Like, they all just ran in every conceivable direction, scattered to the winds, and just went into hiding. And so he's like, those that I haven't found, I'll kill them this way. And so what ends up happening is it ends up taking, I think, modern day Thor wielding 2 hammers and possessed by the all-black Necrosword to defeat Gorr. Dude, he looks so awesome. Dude, Gordon, show them a picture of that. Gordon's my editor. Gordon, show them a picture of what Thor looks like wielding 2 hammers and the all-black Necrosword. He like smashes the hammers together. Dude, it's like the coolest thing ever. I was reading that story, dude. I was ripping through that story, man. Like, I got a hold of that thing. I was like, man, this beast. And I was reading through this story, just tearing it up. And I was like, damn, Jason Aaron's son, man. Dude, Jason Aaron, man, he smashed it right from the word go. Dude, right out of the gate, he had to go. And I was like, damn, man, dude, Jason Aaron, man, he means business, man. And so it was it was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. But I'm just saying, you cannot have, I mean, you could do Gorr in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The problem is you're talking about a character that was powerful enough to like single-handedly crush 3 versions of Thor all at the same time. What's the Incredible Hulk gonna do? What's Iron Man gonna do? Or like Black Widow? Or like Hawkeye, who's going to be Ronin in Avengers 4. I don't know why he wouldn't be. I don't know anybody who doesn't believe he would be. Of course he's going to be Ronin. Why wouldn't he be Ronin in Avengers 4? We need Ronin, by God, and we're going to get him. So like, I mean, what are any of these guys going to do? It would take someone like Hyperion, and even then it probably wouldn't work. Like, it would take the Incredible Hulk, Thor, and Hyperion in order to pull it off if we're not talking about the all-black Necrosword. But if we're talking about Gorr wielding the all-black Necrosword, full power, no, dude, it'd be an absolute bloodbath. Like, it could potentially be a Gorr kills the Marvel Universe story. It'd be one of the coolest things. Dude, it'd be one of the most beast things to play out. I mean, you're talking about a guy that lives to destroy things, that lives to like wipe out gods. That's all Gorr wants to do, is wipe out gods everywhere he finds them. And he'll kill you if you get in the way. I mean, if you're like Captain America and you're like, oh, yeah, freedom, you know, and then you get in the way and so on and so forth, I'm gonna throw my little shield, you know, and yeah. If you're talking about like somebody like that, then he's like, okay, well then fine, like I'll kill you and then I'll take your shield and I'll turn it into like the all-black Necro shield and then I'll have a sword and a shield and it'll be awesome. Like the Incredible Hulk, probably not. I mean, okay, it depends, because the Incredible Hulk is so finicky, right? Because he has like infinite strength. Like, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So if the fight went on long enough, yes, the Incredible Hulk would win. But in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, all the characters across the MCU are by and large like much weaker than their comic book versions. And so the Incredible Hulk, if you took Gorr from the comic books directly into the movies and didn't reduce his power, then no, the Incredible Hulk would get decimated like right off the bat. I mean, dude, if you guys thought what Thanos did was bad, let me tell y'all something, man. If y'all thought what Thanos did was bad, all right, if you guys thought Thanos wrecking the Hulk like that in Infinity War was bad, he ain't got nothing on Gorr. Dude, I mean, Gorr, you know, Thanos is more powerful than Gorr, but I'm just saying, like, not even in hell would you see a massacre like what you would see if Gorr showed up in the MCU and just started laying waste to all the other superheroes. Dude, it'd be absolute pandemonium. Oh my God, it'd be absolute pandemonium. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? We're here live in New York where some being who looks really, really weird, he looks like Voldemort from the Harry Potter books, has somehow managed to make his way into the city of Manhattan, and he's killing everyone, you know. It's like, yeah, man. And he's like, my name is Gorr. I want to imagine what he would sound like, right? Like, I am Gorr. Like, it couldn't be like super deep. Like, he would have to be, it couldn't be like Thanos. See, Thanos is like the least intimidating sounding villain ever. Josh Brolin, love you, man. You're a great actor. No Country for Old Men's in like my top 3 favorite films of all time. But like, Thanos' voice needed to be like deeper, you know, like almost like inhumanly deep, you know, like, I'm Thanos, you know, blarg, you know, I'm gonna wipe out half the life in the universe, which won't actually do anything because in the other half of the life of the universe we'll recover and then have more kids and then we'll be right back where we started again. Like, you know, that's fine, but his voice needs to be like deeper and like more hardcore and like intense. But like Gorr needs to be just like menacing. I mean, just like menacing as hell, right? Where it's just like, if Death was talking to me right now, it would sound like him. Like, he has to be like he has to be the living embodiment of death, right? Like Robert Oppenheimer, you know, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Like he has to be like sound like that guy. And it's like, I'm just saying, man, I'm just saying. Gorr the God Butcher would be amazing to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but he's just too powerful. They have to tone him down and make him like that could be an Avengers movie in and of itself. Like pick the movie up and like in the first 20 minutes, it's like 1,000 years ago. And like Thor fights Gorr and just gets absolutely decimated. And like Thor just forgot about it because he thought that Gorr was dead. And then Gorr returns and Thor's just like, they're like, oh my God, Thor, this is your villain, right? And he's like, yes, brother, you know, yes, rabbit, this is my villain. You know, and like, well, what do we do? He's like, we do nothing, we die because he's way too powerful for us. Like, I want to see that. I want to see that circumstance unfold. The rabbit is right. We are doomed to die. So everyone bend over and kiss your asses goodbye. I think it'd be amazing to see. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. If you guys are new here to Comics Explained, make sure you all hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. And yeah, I will catch you all later. Peace.